Poisonrana.
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT. You found us on POSTwrestling.com or any podcast app that you listen to, and we are live.
We are live, youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, everyone. Hello, Postmarks.
Hello, Postmarks, Poison Pals, and most importantly, NXT friends. We are your NXT friends, and we are here to spend some time to talk all about NXT.
Yes, we are. It's a go-home edition of NXT
home.
this week.
Up yours.
We're going to No Mercy.
That's right. We're going, well, we're not, but we're going to watch No Mercy this weekend. And that's exactly what this is. The go-home show for No Mercy from Bakersfield, California.
Yeah.
This Saturday.
Where is Bakersfield?
I don't know, actually. It's Bakersfield, California.
Yeah.
I've never been to Cali. I've never been so.
I've been to Cali a few times. I just haven't been to Bakersfield, a city in Kern County,
right,
California. Yeah, none the wiser.
Okay, yeah. One day we'll make the trek. But yeah, No Mercy is this Saturday, and it's a pretty big show with some big matches that we're going to talk all about and give a little preview for, and some predictions and everything in between. We will be going live this Saturday, all for then Sunday for more wrestling, which is Wrestle Dream, which I'm very excited about going into that one. We looked at some predictions on last Sunday. We did a Poisonrana show, which we also talked about all the WWE releases. So if you haven't checked out our show Poisonrana already, please go do so. Search Poisonrana in your podcast app and on YouTube, and hit that subscribe and check out all the great content we did, because we poured a many out.
We poured many out.
We poured it all out with all the WWE releases, and we gave our kind of predictions of where we see maybe some of these people landing and stuff. So many shows and so many things going on.
I know it's confusing. I know it's asking a lot. We're here on the Post Wrestling,
which features the main event, I can remember this now, of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Godfather versus Midian.
Oh, yeah, that's your true main event.
I started this show earlier today, and
right.
Oh boy.
Naked Midian?
Not quite. We're not at that stage of... The Midian's had depth over the years, you see.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen
that's
him
why
naked.
his character's changed so much, but we're not quite at the naked part.
Yeah.
One day, though.
We are going to be looking at the iconic ladder match, Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys. So really looking forward to watching that. But everything else, the Jeff Jarrett China house,
the housekeeping match,
rules,
Fabulous Moolah versus Ivory.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mick Foley versus Val Venus.
It's wild. What a time.
Yeah. So we're going to be reviewing No Mercy. Back when No Mercy was this is the first one. Well, we looked up that there was one in the UK in '99 as well.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
This one.
That was non-canon.
Yeah, exactly. So this one counts.
Yeah, looking forward. Always a fun time. This is around the time I was starting to watch wrestling regularly, so it's always a bit of a nostalgia trip going back to this era. But a lot of stuff that I thought was fantastic back then, you know, maybe not as good now.
You mean things get dated?
Some things get dated, yeah.
Oh, you're crazy.
But yeah, that's coming out this week on the Patreon. And then we're giving a bit of a free show away this week as well.
Yeah, hey, we do a show called Best Match Ever, where we look whether it's match types or pay-per-views or rivalries or even wrestlers ever and kind of review them. We do this sometimes when we're also honoring someone, just like we want to honor Bray Wyatt. So we thought we're going to do it in the only way we know how, and that's talk about his whole career of professional wrestling. And we're going to be going live, actually, on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time over on the Poisonrana feed. I swear maybe we'll have
Hopefully,
the internet.
yeah.
But the audio will be up on our feed as well. And this is a completely free show, and we're just going to be celebrating the life and career of Bray Wyatt, looking at some of his best matches and moments. Yes, The Fiend will be on the list. Yes, the Wyatt family. There's going to be so many different iterations of it. We might even have to look at some of the bad just to get to some of the good for Bray Wyatt. But this is all just our little tip of the hat to Mr. Firefly Funhouse.
Absolutely, and kind of a good way to kick off spooky season. It's kind of closing off September and bringing in October with one of the big kind of horror icons in wrestling with Bray Wyatt and The Fiend.
Exactly. So if you're a big Bray Wyatt fan, tune in on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube page, but the audio will be up later that night over on our Poison Rana podcast feed as well. So free show from us to you, supporting and honoring Bray Wyatt. So look forward to that, and get your feedback in, because it's not too late, because we have a Facebook page and a Patreon link there with some feedback, your comments, your thoughts on anything Bray Wyatt.
We are also putting together the October schedule, and as always, we're going to be doing a Halloween Havoc review. There is a poll on our Facebook group. It's between, I think, 1991 and 1998 Halloween Havocs are kind of winning this thing right now. So make sure you go across there and vote. Which Halloween Havoc do you want us to review this year?
Yeah, what's winning right now? 98?
98.
Oh man, I kind of want that one.
Yeah, I feel like 98 will be more fun.
We've kind of avoided this one.
91 has the Chamber of Horrors, which is fun.
We've somehow
but 98 has a lot of bad, but a bit of good as well.
Yeah, I haven't voted yet. Have you voted? Do you vote when you put this together?
Yeah. The president can vote for themselves, can't they?
Yeah, I usually do vote, but this one I have looked at it and just haven't voted. So, guys, get your votes in for that. Hey, if you like movie reviews too, we did a review of Escape from New York from 1981. Our World Champ family member patron Justin picked this as he was escaping New York for Grand Slam, so we thought it'd be a good little tie-in there, and that made for a pretty fun podcast as well, with John Carpenter's sci-fi thriller starring the ever so handsome Snake Plissken, Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah, first time seeing this film, it was good fun, and we put to the test at the end as well. So see how he did. Check that one out.
We hit some really cool trivia about this movie and reading up and digging on it. It was pretty interesting and pretty cool. So that made for a fun podcast as well. So many podcasts, and it's only $5 to support us on the Patreon.
And one final thing, little plug. I'll be joining the Fightful YouTube account to do our predictions for WrestleDream this Sunday. So we'll be going, I think it's live 3 p.m. Eastern time, so 8 over there in the UK. But yeah, be good to chat with Stephanie Chase again since last saw her in London.
Yeah, we got to hang out with her before All In, and Benno and the Grapple lads as well, spending all our fun. I'm sure they're getting hyped up for WrestleDream as well, which I'm really looking forward to.
It looks great. I'm looking forward to Dynamite this week and WrestleDream.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think, is that the plugs?
I think we plugged a lot. That is quite
the
plugs, but there is lots of stuff to check out. So go
absolutely
look up these podcasts and all the fun stuff we do.
Well, it's official. Jade Cargill's in WWE now.
Yes. I mean, I watched NXT right now. There was no mention of her tonight because I don't think she's going to NXT. Maybe not. Or do we see a front row on Saturday? That's true. Bakersfield.
That old thing.
There we go. Center there.
But yeah, checking into the PC today, lots of tweets from sort of the WWE account and stuff, and first big signing after the TKO thing. So they're making a big deal of her. So
yeah, definitely with the social media, they promoting it on like ESPN and stuff like that on social media today, and making it seem like it's a big deal that they got this free agent that just so happened to be free pretty recently. But I think with the proper, I don't know, there was a piece of something of the puzzle that wasn't working necessarily for me of Jade in AEW, and I think maybe she'll find it in WWE. They've taught people how to put on some pretty spectacular matches. I mean, like, look at like celebrities and stuff getting pretty talented in ring, and I think that was the only one thing that was sticking out from Jade, is because people in AEW get a bit too like up about like matches and quality and all this stuff, whereas people can never ever learn, which is like the charisma, the just I don't know.
I mean, just look at her, the presence of her.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, whoa, who's that?
Exactly. So I do think that she'll become something pretty.
I think it's off to a good start. Just seeing how much they're putting behind her already on day one, making it seem like a big signing. This isn't your usual kind of PC recruit. So from day one, it seems like they're going to be putting a lot behind her.
Yeah. And good for her, because she got turned down by them before, right?
I believe she had
like
tryouts before. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Where will she change her name?
I don't think so.
Hopefully not.
It doesn't seem that way.
It's the era of Jade, the generation of Jade.
Yeah, someone else might need to change their name.
Can't have
You
two
now are
Jades.
just Cora.
Cora. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good breakfast, Coras.
Yeah. Do they have?
Breakfast, Coras.
Yeah. Do they have? I don't think they have that in the States.
What? Coras?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah. You should follow Stax. What's his name? Stax, right?
Oh, yeah. Tony D's mate.
Yeah, yeah. You should follow his Instagram for reviews of like coffee and stuff.
Is he good?
He gives his reviews. He really dislikes 7-Eleven coffee, and he cut a promo on them. But then he says that Wawa coffee was pretty good.
You know, 7-Eleven replied to me because I once had their coffee like real late at night, and it hit the spot.
So you tweeted them?
I tweeted them, and they replied, being like,
Stax
"Hey, thanks."
does not agree with you though. He says that they're coffee.
But you know, 7-Eleven's different everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Florida 7-Eleven coffee might not be as good as the corner of College and Spadina.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that the coffee that night was just really like
I just wanted it. Needed it. It was brewed through perfect length. Had the right creamer in there.
Yeah, I mean, if people are putting sugar and shit in their coffee anyway, it doesn't matter what the coffee, as long as it's getting me caffeinated. As long as it's not whatever you Brits did over there. Everywhere is fucking tea, dishwater. I don't know what was going on with that. Same with you put sugar.
All right, Ted Lasso.
Yeah. I love Stack's Instagram thing, and I would recommend, because we don't have Wawa here, but I know Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon bought us a cup. Did he from Wawa? Something.
Cup warmers.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like
know.
that. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Sorry, we're both a little distracted by this string.
Is it still down?
I don't crapping out, but apologies.
Oh, great.
That's why you get the podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't watch us on YouTube.
But NXT.
No, I think that's about it. I know that Dragon Lee. Well, we did.
Oh, we should talk about that.
Well, yeah, we definitely talked about all the releases on Sunday on our show, but it does affect the pay-per-view or the PLE this longer with the company. So Ali's not in a match, and we were kind of wondering, well, if that is something that's happened, I wonder what they do, and they definitely address that and add another match in basically his replacement for later tonight. Which leaves the pay-per-view looking still pretty good. But originally we were gonna have Ali versus like Wes or something. So
no, it's gonna be Ali versus Dominic, which was two heels against which we found was weird anyway. But did you catch Dragon Lee Dominic from Monday?
Yeah, last night, right?
Yeah.
I definitely checked it out right before NXT actually right now, and it was all right.
I quite like their first match. I thought this one was even better, and just Dominic's really stepping it up in ring, I think. And I think this maybe NXT excursion working with the likes of the Dragon Lee is helping him. I was really into the match, but we'll get into it in the show today. A bit surprised how clean a finish it was for Dom.
Oh, right, on Raw.
Yeah,
because he's the greatest luchador.
Yeah, I guess
of all
so.
time. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a great match and a really good way of like kind of debuting Dragon Lee. I don't think we'll be seeing him in NXT much longer.
Yeah, I could see him being a bigger part on. He's very exciting to watch in the ring, so good for him.
All right, well, shall we get into NXT?
Let's do it.
NXT September 26th, 2023, and we're kicking things off with the final of the Global Invitational Heritage Cup tournament. It's Scotland versus England. It's Joe Coffey versus Butch. It's a rematch from NXT TakeOver Cardiff. We see Noam Dar and Metaphor on the perch. It looked like they were dressed for like Ascot or something like that.
They're going to
or a wedding or something.
Yeah, last week was the Matrix, and this week they're like the Kentucky Derby.
To chant, "You got Butch slapped." Butch is then Coffey then gets him down. There's a lot of just like grinding each other down, side of the head. There's this run the rope spot where hated Wolfgang on the outside. He was livid.
Yeah.
You can't cross your arms as well.
You can't do
How
our bit.
dare you? That's our thing. This is where it's announced that Axiom, Tyler Bate, and Dragon Lee will be in a 3-way tonight, and the winner will face Dom at the pay-per-view. As the ref is distracted, member of Gallus gets a little cheap shot in. Coffey then goes for a top rope crossbody, but is met with just a punch in midair to the face. Butch then hits the second rope moonsault to the floor, taking out Gallus, and then comes back with this German suplex and roundhouse kick to the side of the head. Gallus then try to get in the ring, and this is where the ref catches them and goes, "You are out of here," sending Mark Coffey and Wolfgang to the back. After the break, Dunn is working on the arm, snapping it over his shoulder, and then on the apron hits the 10 beats of the Bowron fight night. There's then a DDT on the apron. Coffey now hits his high cross and is trying to hit a vertical suplex, but his arm is a bit too messed up from the work Dunn's been doing. He then hits the running headbutt that he's been using, which just looks awful.
Yeah, I don't get it at all. He runs at your gut to hit him.
With a headbutt. Yeah. It doesn't look good. Goes for all the best for the bells, but it gets countered with an enziguri, and then Coffey lands like a short arm lariat. Butch goes for break your fingers, but it gets countered into a power bomb. Coffey hits the running headbutt again, and then hits all the best for the bells. And this is where Dunn kicking out from Joe Coffey's finisher. Coffey then charges to do his headbutt thing again, but this time on the outside. Dunn moves, and he just goes flying into the ring steps, cracking his head. He looks completely knocked out. Dunn rolls him into the ring and hits the bitter end and pins him. So Butch is going to Bakersfield.
Yeah, so Butch now, Pete Dunne versus Noam Dar in the Heritage Cup rules match is set. This was pretty good. This is a rematch of their takeover match from is it a takeover match? All these years?
It was takeover Blackpool or Cardiff or one of them.
Yeah, you know what? I got into it, and so did the crowd here. The NXT not Full Sail, but the CWC crowd were really behind Butch. I think people like either A, remember his time in NXT, or B, he's on the main roster, so he's got a bit of a push behind him from the past little while. But he's so entertaining to watch. I used to love watching him on the show, so it is refreshing seeing him again here and at least being used and kind of bringing some attention to the pay-per-view on Sunday. But really got into it when Coffey hit the best of the bells, which he's been pinning people with, and Dunn is not he used a super finisher last week, which we didn't get. Yeah, I assume we see that again one day, but he didn't even need to pull out that one after this. But yeah, a fun opening match. I think I liked it a bit more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I really got into this. I apart from that running headbutt, I do like kind of Coffey. He's not afraid to kind of get in there, and I actually thought that with a lot of the matches tonight, there was a lot of just stiff shots to each other, and I thought these two worked hard against each other. It's completely the right result. It made no sense having Joe Coffey versus Dar, but I think it's going to be a really good match. I think Noam Dar's really stepped up, and it's this kind of main roster NXT integration we've got at the moment, which is only helping NXT. And if it means we get a takeover level Pete Dunne match, hopefully, that's great for him as well.
Yeah, I don't like. I still am not, like the British rounds thing as much. Whereas I just prefer if you gave them a singles match. But I know that these two are the technical sound wrestlers that if anyone can make this way more exciting, it will be these. I think this match.
Movies, curled up, eating chicken tenders, and Mackenzie says, "Wait, Dom, you haven't been told about the triple threat match?" And he's like, what are you talking about? What triple threat? Well, didn't you see Shawn Michaels' tweet? I don't follow Shawn Michaels, which I thought was pretty funny. And then
he should maybe click Shawn Michaels likes and see what Shawn's been liking.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then says, first Pierce has it against me, and now Shawn Michaels. This isn't fair. As he learns about the number one contenders match happening later tonight.
This guy's such a heel that he's the guy that and everyone knows someone who only goes into somewhere and no matter where it is, he just wants chicken tenders.
Yeah.
We're at a
Oh, I serve them
Yeah.
daily.
yeah. You know, you could be anywhere. Do they have chicken tenders? It's
Yeah.
like the most basic thing
Yeah, oh, yeah.
that someone can get at somewhere. But Dom is that because he's
Oh,
little,
he's such
he's
a
a little kid, right? Essentially, still. So, yeah, I love Dom finding out that he's got a match.
Dominic Mysterio is someone I want to see on Hot Ones.
That'd be pretty
So I
good.
bet he'd be a
Yeah.
little bitch, wouldn't he?
He would eat them with chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Dipping them. Yeah.
All right, we seem to be back. I think.
Wow, the
for
feed
any
is-
live
the return of the
viewers
feed?
that we've got 12 views still. Thank
Wow.
you. I shouldn't talk too soon.
Yeah. Jinxed it.
But yes, we then go to Tony and Stax. They've hired this like banquet hall, and they're
No, this is just a restaurant.
a
they go to
restaurant
all the time, right?
There's a long table.
It's a bigger table, but this must be the spot they go to.
I guess
often.
so.
Yeah.
And Stax is worried. He's like, "Hey, we're really having dinner for all this amount of people. That's going to cost a bit." And he goes, "AJ has it sorted," which is, as far as I'm concerned,
Is that AJ?
is this the first reference of AJ Galante since he was murdered by Legado?
Oh, so not AJ Styles.
Oh, he got murdered on Friday as well. No, AJ Lee.
Yeah.
I take it as AJ Galante.
Okay. AJ Galante just randomly, like years later, is like, "Oh, you're having a bunch of people over? Yeah, I got the tab.
I got it. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
They're then talking about his family, his uncle in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Didn't say cuts garlic with razor blades.
No,
This
again,
is-
yeah, it was right there for you.
Yeah.
But they do bring up, this is some goods. This is what you order when you go out, guys. You want to know what you order when you go to a nice restaurant? Veal Parmesan.
Yes.
I know I just upset someone out there, but it is, it is really good.
We enjoyed some veal parm the other day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had a veal sandwich today for lunch.
You've had veal twice this week?
Because we went out to one of our favorite Italian spots, and it didn't hit the right way. I'm
No,
sorry, it didn't.
it
So
didn't.
today, I was walking home, and I'm passing St. Lawrence Market, and it kept going in my mind, like, that veal didn't really hit. There's a better
You went to
spot.
the place downstairs?
Yeah, yeah.
I had something from there recently.
Yeah, it's good.
It was like eggplant and meatballs.
It
or
was,
something like that.
he was like, "You want it hot?" I was like, "You're damn right. I
Yeah.
want it really hot. All the hot peppers on this veal sandwich." And let me tell you something. It's good. You can get chicken.
Uno Mustachios?
You
is
can
that
get.
it?
Is that what it's
I
called?
think it's
Oh,
called
man.
like that, yeah.
It's St. Lawrence Market. Torontonians know. But yeah, like you can get anything with cheese and not even cheese. If you vegans out there, just some vegetable with pasta sauce and hot peppers on a sandwich. It's good. But
Yeah.
veal parm on a sandwich with hot peppers.
I don't think they were having veal here.
He said it though, and baked ziti.
Baked
So
ziti?
clearly, Sopranos.
It looked like they were all just having penne in ragu.
It was pretty,
Like-
yeah. It was pretty straight, bare bones Italian.
So they're inviting people over to decide who their opponents are going to be at No Mercy, and the first to show up is Humberto and Gaza with their granddad's scratch marks tattooed on their chest.
Tattooed?
Yeah, quote unquote.
They said it was tattooed.
Yeah,
But
it really looked very shiny.
it's like a stick-on
Yeah,
tattoo.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And they appreciate the invite to dinner. They said, "Hey, last time we were together, things got a little heated." But they say, "Look, we came here for one thing and one thing only. We want the tag team titles." And Stax says, "Well, pour yourself a drink, make yourself comfortable, have a snack, because you'll be waiting for the others." So more people are going to show up to this dinner.
Yeah, so we assume all the other tag teams, they're going to discuss what the match is for the pay-per-view. Wow, what could it be? But
Remember when like AEW started and they went, "Look, we're going to try and keep it like sports based, so it's rankings. So the more matches you win,
Yeah.
the higher up the rankings you are, and you can go for the title shot." WWE, hey, just come over to my place for dinner, my
Yeah.
favorite restaurant. We'll talk it out.
and if we talk it out, maybe I'll give you a shot.
And then last time we went to the pub. We just decided in the pub.
Yeah. I mean, maybe NXT's way is better.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they dropped the rankings.
You get pasta and you get beer sometimes.
Yeah. Right, next match. We go to Trick Williams taking on Joe Gacy. Vic is just on at Booker at the beginning of this match because Book called Joe Coffey Joe Gacy in the opening match.
I did notice that. It was confusing me.
And he's like, "Book, look, it's Joe Gacy now. You can talk about Joe Gacy." Just winding him up. There's a big slam from Trick and a drop kick. Trick then gets Gacy in the corner and hits a couple of jabs and a big uppercut. Gacy then comes back with a DDT and starts working the back of Williams and just applies his rear chin lock, which Trick powers out of, fires up, hits his big leg lariat. Gacy then goes for the upside down, and as he's coming in with the lariat, Trick just leaps at him with like double knees to the face and takes him out and wins. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Trick making pretty light work of Joe Gacy here, but I think the Joe Gacy character, storyline, angle, whatever you want to call it, has run very thin because now he's just out here with Ava. Don't call her Reign. Too similar to Roman Reigns, the bloodline. But The Rock's daughter is just like chilling with this guy, and he's jobbed out to Trick now. I assume this goes away or changes up because it's just not working.
He's due a repackaging,
yeah,
for sure.
Again.
Yeah, and Ava going to level up and working there.
Yeah, she needs to wrestle, I guess, to get But yeah, sorry, this match, it didn't really do too much for me. It got Trick over. You got to give it to this crowd is really hyped, like I said earlier. But Trick's solo music is like perfect for. They set it up so it's like instrumental to the beat. Everyone goes whoop that Trick, and like now it's caught on even louder. It's very similar to what is it Jay Uso with the crowd kind of doing that thing,
and Booker kind of helping along each like whoop that Trick, what?
yeah yeah, he's almost like his hype man. He's Flavor Flav, Booker T here.
I really liked what they did with Trick this episode, kind of like a show long storyline with him and getting a big win over Gacy. He is improving in the ring every week, I think, and afterwards he gets on the microphone and says says he's ambidextrous as he can hit with both hands, and Kelly Kincaid asks him his opinion about Melo and Ilja, the contract signing, and who's going to win at No Mercy. And he says, look, can we talk about me for here? He says, Gacy's a bit weird, but we just had a good match, and that was probably my best performance, which I kind of agree with. He says, no one is stronger and tougher than Ilja, and that's why it's going to be him. Yes, Melo, him. Because it's Melo Gang forever, and you know what? Melo already has a championship. Now it's time for me to get mine. And he walks off.
It's like, I got an idea. And he kind of walks to the back. And I could assume what he was thinking.
Yeah.
He wants some gold too. And maybe he's going to go get it. Reach for that opportunity. But yeah, I like the promo.
I really thought this whole segment was really good for Trick. I thought he looked impressive in the match. The crowd just getting really behind him. As you said, like his theme's pretty good. And we know in wrestling, you have a good theme. People like singing along.
Yeah.
It does help. And I think his promo's really good. This wasn't so much of his, like, just flashy, cutting jokes and things sort of promo. This was him a little bit more serious, and I thought he sounded great. I really see big things for Trick.
Agreed.
We go backstage to Bea Priestley, who calls Gigi Dolin pathetic for her attack attempt last week. And she said, last week when everyone was pulling us apart, it wasn't to protect me from you, it was protect you from me. And she warns Gigi to watch what she's doing, because what she's going to do tonight, warning her of another attack.
Which Gigi should have listened.
And just gone home.
Yeah. We
gonna get attacked today.
Which, spoilers, she gets attacked.
No, that's not a wrestler's mindset, is it? Yeah.
True.
We see Andre Chase and Duke Hudson, and they're talking about Thea Hale. They're kind of worried because they haven't really heard from her. And Duke says, well, I did get a thumbs up emoji earlier today, so that's better than just being left on red. Like
that is
been
true.
All week.
Yeah, that is true. If you're being left on red and then finally it's a thumbs up emoji, or is that actually worse because they're just like agreeing with like
my dad always uses it wrong.
Yeah, I think he doesn't understand what it's like become. But you just people thumbs up emojis.
Yeah.
Pretty,
it hurts. Yeah. Thumbs up emoji hurts. So does being left on red.
Exactly. So like really what
getting used to it.
What is like, worse? Still. Yeah. Like you write this whole novel and it's just a thumbs up reply, you're like,
okay,
cool. Yeah. Oh, don't even. The lower
Pollock does that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
older people.
Hey, I think we're meeting at this time and doing this. Okay.
Yeah, old people do that. Yeah. Like they don't. Yeah. Pollock doesn't reply. Bet. Yeah. Older people use like the thumbs up or the thing. I'll tell you personally, I like that I can just like heart or like a message now.
I like that.
Yeah. It's like, look, we're done here.
Yeah.
I can just like this.
The laughing emoji.
Yeah, I'm tired of writing LOL or LMAO and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not actually laughing out loud, so
Yeah.
But sometimes you do.
If I am, I say like I'm actually LMAO.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah.
Skull emoji. But yeah, sorry. So he got a thumb emoji. Was it the right one? Thumbs up.
He just gave a thumbs up emoji. Yeah.
He got one. From me, yeah.
And Andre still hasn't heard anything. And then this is when JC Jane comes out, and Chase asks JC, why isn't Thea replying to his text? Why is she so mad? And she goes, well, you can ask her yourself. And Thea Hale comes out, all dressed in black leather. She's dressed very like JC Jane, looking a bit like a mean girl. And it's clear Chase is almost going to do the fatherly thing and being like, you're not going out dressed like that. And Duke sort of is like, no, be supportive of her. So he says, she looks lovely. And she's like, yeah, you better like my new look, because I'm finally like a grown-ass adult. And she runs off. And JC goes, well, if you like that, wait till you see her ring gear. And Chase is just left incredulous.
She's making it sound like you think that's bad. Wait till you see her ring gear.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like what is she wearing that's so awful? She's like wearing what a lot of other wrestlers wear on this show.
What, later in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just her normal gear,
It's
but
just
black.
normal gear, but like black and like I guess a bit of a choker thing on. I don't know, but yeah. Is Thea Hale basically what? Sandy from Greece?
Yeah.
Tell me about it, stud. But Thea, you're dressed like a. Tell me about it.
You know what I hope this does is it finally gets Andre Chase out of that bloody sweater.
Wow, you're saying the whole.
He's going to become Danny Zuko.
Oh no! Wait, no, he's not
It's
trying.
creepy.
Yeah. Hold on, wait. He's not trying to pursue. He's just trying to like help her. But
I just want him to get ring gear. You know.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah, I mean, her ring gear wasn't necessarily bad because she was the like, student that was all crazy and everything. But now like, she's trying to be more serious and grown up. It's like when teenagers think they're growing up. When like you're still a kid.
Yeah,
but
we'll still an idiot.
We'll see what happens. Maybe JC will lead her to something that Chase couldn't.
Exactly. I mean, Thea Hale, she's like, who's the villain in Heroes, that first season? Zachary Quinto.
I have no idea.
He'd Kirby. He'd basically steal your power.
Oh yeah.
And that's what Thea's been doing. She was with Chase U. She kind of chose the positive, never give up mentality. Then she went to Gulat.
I mean, so did Duke.
And learned the Kimura. And now she's with JC learning how to be a grown-up and stand for herself and dress like this.
Right. Yeah. And new music, too, later.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe she's just evolving.
Exactly.
Can't be, kid forever. You can't be in the shadows.
Yeah.
Just be in the shadows of someone else.
Sometimes, you know what you got to do? You got to burn the ships.
Oh.
Burn the Ships, Baron comes out.
It's on Apple Music now.
Do you like it?
I have not played it yet.
So, to make it clear, he's got a song that's singing Burn the Ships. He's got ships being burned on his videos.
He really does not like ships.
And now, the ever-evolving ring gear of Baron Corbin, he has burn written on one arm sleeve. And I assume ships written on the other. I didn't see it, but I'm going to guess it says ships.
What's Baron Corbin's favorite game to play?
Battleships. And he's taking on Josh Briggs. So no real development from the Miles Bourne, Fallon Henley stuff this week.
Yeah, but what are Briggs's views on ships? That's what's it's gonna come down to in this match. Because if he doesn't like ships, this is why he didn't win this match. Because Baron Corbin beats the shit out of him.
He beat the shit out of him, yeah.
Beat the ships out of him.
This was just a huge brawl between these two. They're brawling on the outside, slapping each other across the face. Briggs hits a really nice looking big boot. I do think his look pretty sweet when he hits them.
Oh, yeah.
And then this Corbin comes back with a pretty nice looking Uranagi and then a big running clothesline in the corner. And this is where Corbin just starts mocking Fallon Henley on the outside, but it distracts him, which allows Briggs to come back with a sidewalk slam and standing splash for a 2 count. And now both are slugging it out with big punches and forearms. There's another big boot sending Corbin into the corner. And then Corbin kind of pulls the ref in front of him which allows him to get a cheap shot on Briggs, and then jumps off the top rope with a clothesline and hits the end of days for the win.
Yeah, Briggs, we've seen his days before WWE, like, Evolve and stuff. He was a pretty good, like, big man power wrestler that could move. So he's kind of like Baron Corbin, but like a bit more quicker and maybe a bit more polished in the ring, and made Baron Corbin look pretty good here considering the size. Corbin hitting that end of days always looks good, but when it's on a big guy who then can sell it like absolute money, it was pretty impressive. So that was the only real highlight of this match. But it does remind me Briggs used to go, actually. So
I actually quite enjoyed this match. I liked how hard they were hitting each other, and I just kind of wish if we didn't have 8-9 years of just Corbin in fucking ridiculous roles, bad matches, just doing headlock. If he wrestled more like this all the time, just beat the shit out of people more in this character, I think I'd take to him a lot more. It's a little kind of too little too late for me in a way, but I did think this match was quite good, and what they did with him and Braun for the rest of the show. So Corbin then gets on the mic and he calls out badass Braun Breaker. He says, Saturday we find out if this little dog is all bark and no bite. And while I've burned the ships, I've burned the past, and I'm looking at the future, and you just saw your future with the EOD. And that's when Braun Breaker comes out, and they have this massive pull apart, big brawl as we go to break.
Yeah, Battle of the Badasses on Saturday night. So this all just better lead into Vaughn putting them both through tables. But yeah,
it's got to be, right?
It's the only way I'll accept watching this match.
And the place will go fucking nuts.
Mental.
I want to see the biggest table ever.
You're going to get tabled signs.
Yeah.
They'll still sell shirts at the venue. Be great.
Yeah. He'll when the Dudleys come back one day, they'll be like the ultimate trio.
They just did.
They on Impact.
Yeah.
When they're back to WWE.
You made it sound Impact.
Yeah.
You did it. I didn't do it.
I said when they came back to WWE.
Yeah, but I'm always the one that's like, whoa, that doesn't count.
So after the break, Trick Williams knocks on Shawn Michaels' office door and he says, "You got a minute?" So, yeah. So Trick goes in for a chat with Shawn.
What do you think they talked about?
I want to know what Shawn does in his office.
Trick, what do you think of my hat? What should I do with this hat?
Trick, sorry, you're talking to me, sir?
Yeah, I love Shawn Michaels.
Vic Joseph then promotes the song. We both didn't catch it, but I'm always intrigued.
We'll hear it on Saturday.
Song is.
We'll plug
I'm
it.
sure it's fantastic.
I love plugging the songs for these things. If you listen, I love plugging them. So I did not catch it, but I'll listen. I'm there.
We then go through a kind of video package just previewing Tiffany Stratton versus Becky Lynch. It's showing the promo from Stratton where she's saying she's the best women's champion and she was better than Bayley, Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky, as it's showing kind of all their title wins back when they were in NXT. It then shows Becky making the match, the replay of the match, and then Tiffany says that Becky needs to be in the main event, so is hanging on to someone who she knows will be around for the next decade. But Becky has been here 10 years, and I've already achieved here way more in my first 2 years already, and I hung in there with a WrestleMania main eventer, and you've only been here a month, and I'm sick of it. And she says she's hungry to get the championship back. I don't think this match really needed much more in-ring talking or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they always do these productions pretty well.
This was really well put together. Yeah, you could show someone this and they'd instantly get the whole story and everything kind of going on. And they did a great kind of focus and repackage of like everything that's kind of happened. So I liked it. It got me high. I'm excited for this match. I almost want this to be the main event.
I was just going to ask you, do you think this will main event?
Yeah, like it could, because like I'd say the hype after the first one. I mean, Dragunov Mello 2 should really be it too, but I wouldn't be shocked.
I think you just see like in a video like this, Tiffany like completely holds her own, and I think is going to be a big star in this company because she is going back and forth with Becky and isn't looking significantly weaker.
Did you see there was some stories coming out? She was doing interviews, reported about the whole daddy's little rich girl character.
I did see this,
and she's basically like, yeah, like we wanted to find me a character that was like my rich daddy, but we couldn't figure out who it to be, so then we just kind of scrapped it.
Said no one wanted to be it.
And remember, like for weeks we were like, is this gonna lead to her having an actual rich daddy, because at one point on TV she was saying daddy and all this stuff.
In a way, I think it's worked though, because she's kind of carried whatever character she had there and now become a bit more of a woman, but still got that kind of, you know, daddy's rich girl flavoring.
Legally blonde, clueless kind of thing. Yeah. Who would you have? I wonder who they asked.
I mean, so we're talking like beginning of 2.0 era.
Yeah.
So it would have been like,
well, we already
Kyle, do you want to? No, I'm gonna go to AEW.
Well, it had to be someone older. Like, I know we had the Cameron Grimes $1 Million Man thing, but like that could have been a joke that you could have done, like IRS or whatever.
I mean, she's young.
Yeah.
Like, so you need someone like what, 40?
Yeah.
Plus, how old's Joe Gacy?
he just dresses like he's an older guy. But yeah, we weren't sure who could be there. Her daddy. Maybe one day we'll get to find out.
I mean, once she's a main roster big deal, I'm sure people would be like, oh yeah, I'll play that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We go to Hank and Tank versus Bronco Nima and Lucien Price, who are now known as Out the Mud.
Yes.
OTM.
Yes. Have you this is like a popular saying. There's like songs about this. It's a saying people started from the bottom, right? Like we got out of
the mud.
Yeah. So OTM, Out the Mud.
And the winner of this match gets a seat at Tony D'Angelo's dinner. So you're going to have to quickly shower and just book it over to wherever this restaurant is.
They're going to have to get out the mud and go to this restaurant. Yeah.
Hank and Tank have now got a matching gear. They've got jean shorts and a grey vest that says Hank and Tank on it.
They clearly heard us rip their gear, or probably, I think I just ripped Hank's, but they were like, watch this. We'll step it up. We'll step it up. They asked Baron Corbin for gear advice.
Yeah.
They look like mechanics.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
There's so many.
What's with mechanics in NXT?
Yeah, we already have the mechanics here in NXT. So what's going on with Hank and Tank? I actually like, but they annoy me though.
Me too.
Like, I want to like
why
them.
the fuck you wearing?
Why are you wearing that though? Like, you went from like, you already started with the abysmal, like, what the tractor, not the tractor, the caterpillar gear, the construction. So they're going from construction to like mechanics. I don't know.
Well, we've seen Tank in like singlets and stuff.
But it was like a weird one, like Crush or something. Like heavy machinery.
But still, my favorite,
which was also another tag team.
Yeah.
With that kind of gear.
My favorite like shit gear was then when Tucker had a random singles match on Raw like a battle royal or something after he'd broken up with Otis.
Right.
And his tights just said Knight on it.
Yeah, but
he hadn't been Tucker Knight since he got brought up to the main roster
they dropped
like
that
2
name.
years ago.
Yeah, he also had his promo in his hand.
Yeah.
The script in his hand. Remember that?
Whatever happened to the Tucker? He said he's going to show the world
I don't know.
He's going to do a Jericho interview and everything.
I have not thought about Tucker since you brought him up.
Let's hit him up.
Yeah, get him on the show.
Yeah. Winning team gets a seat at Tony D'Angelo's dinner. Tank Ledger's showing off really impressive speed and hits this dive through the ropes. As the referee is distracted, it allows Nima to kind of double team and hits this impressive looking hook kick. And then Bronco like runs in on Tank and is just bouncing on his neck across the rope. And then Hank comes in with a bit of a fire up, a bit of a hot tag here. Hits a snake eyes and a big pump kick. And this is where Scripps interferes, allowing Price and Nima to double team, where they hit this kind of assisted Alabama slam powerbomb combo, which looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And Out the Mud get the win.
Out the Mud. Yeah, so Alabama slam, which is already a pretty vicious whiplash type of move. This one's like an assisted one, which looked pretty
big lads here.
Yeah, they're big guys. So they crushed, I think it was Hank they hit this with. They crushed him with this move. So I was impressed with that. I haven't been too impressed with their wrestling thus far, but the finish looked good, and that's already has my attention. Like, they look like they murdered this guy. So
yeah, finish did look really good. I thought Hank had stepped it up here. He looked a bit better in ring. Tank is pretty fun. Like, I don't know if this is the right character for him, but I definitely get a lot of personality out of him. And for a pretty big, solid guy. He's very quick as well. So I could see him in the right role being pretty featured down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's ever since he got his tooth knocked out or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's
I've
right.
been a fan too.
Yeah. We see Gigi Dolin, who's warming up backstage when the lights go off and Blair Davenport beats her up. The lights come on and she says, "You're pathetic."
Oh man, she even warned her.
She warned her.
So this match is called off.
Yeah.
Because Gigi was attacked.
She's pathetic.
Damn.
We get a commercial for Elimination Chamber. That's going to be in Perth.
Yeah.
Bit confused. Why are they still using the ice imagery for Elimination Chamber? Because it was in Montreal last year.
It's February. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold there.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cold in Perth.
In Australia's summer.
Yeah. Australia's summer, that's in the winter.
Yeah.
That's
I want to see an Aussie sign. Like, change this. Don't use last year's
turn
graphic.
to Aussie, just
because Montreal's fucking cold in
Australia
February.
Chamber. Like what put like beaches,
Kangaroos on it. You know, we want all the stereotypical stuff.
Kangaroo kick.
Like back in the UK, it's always like Big Ben and red phone box and all that.
So it's gonna be Victoria Bitters beer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Vegemite.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kangaroo.
Venomous spiders.
Rugby.
Yeah.
Snakes that are just way too fucking big.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be Nicole Kidman at the theater watching.
Yeah.
It's Elimination Chamber, violence. And someone's like, wow, this is great. Rhea Ripley playing Nicole Kidman in the theater.
Hugh Jackman likes wrestling, doesn't he?
Yeah, ever since he showed up with Zack Ryder, remember?
Yeah, he punched Dolph Ziggler, didn't he?
That's right. Oh. Man. Rip, pour one
Yeah.
out. Yeah, this is pretty cool. But you know what? I did say, that's interesting that they're going to Perth. I've been clicking the social media posts of them being like, hey, we're going to Perth. All these Australians are like, great. Fucking expensive flight from Sydney and Melbourne. Like all the other, big hubs. So I know Australians are still like, man, but you got that one.
Wherever you are, you're going to have to travel.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like, I think some of the main big cities are like, what?
Well, their city should have paid for it then.
Exactly.
You know?
Get on one of
I
those
ain't
kangaroos.
feeling sorry for people halfway across the world.
They're pretty far still. But yeah, this is pretty cool though. I like that WWE is going to different cities
way
and
better.
countries and stuff. And this means it's going to be like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
That's insane.
On a Saturday, is it?
That's nuts.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So we're back at the Tony D'Angelo dinner. Stax asks Umberto and Garza, why does it look like your chests were torn apart by saber-toothed tigers? And they go, hey, you're making fun of my grandfather. And they said, these tattoos are a message to us to get those tag titles.
Yeah.
They're like, okay. Julius and Brutus then show up in tracksuit, reminding us that they are not funny.
I liked Brutus's tracksuit here. At least it wasn't the gorilla shirt.
Yeah. Oh, no, his tracksuit was all right. And Humberto and Garza are like, whoa. There's more people. And Stax and Tony, because they're good guys now and kind of get along with the Creeds. They're like, look, don't worry about these two. They haven't held a weapon in their life. And then Julius does a really bad, like, Sopranos impression.
Like,
and
we'll make a deal, I think. Is it make him an offer?
Yeah, it was terrible.
The Godfather.
And then Brutus asks, oh, wait, is this the restaurant where, and they were like, no, that was the other restaurant. He's like saying someone died here. And they're like, oh, okay. And then dinner arrives.
They got him the spicy meatballs for...
Yeah.
For
Please stop getting these guys to do comedy.
Didn't we just go off last week being like, oh, maybe they'll go in the serious tone? It's like, how about we have them in an Italian restaurant? All right.
Yeah. It's so lame. We see Tyler Bate and Axiom, and they're just kind of saying, look, we're going to go at it tonight, but no hard feelings, whoever wins. And they're like, nah, we've got to go for these opportunities when we get them. And that's when Trick walks in and says, well, lads, it looks like tonight's triple threat has become a fatal 4-way.
Damn. So
and
yeah,
like, fuck.
Sean gave him. He must have just said, Sean, I'm on a roll. Make that match a 4-way and put me in there. And Sean listened to him.
Yeah.
And now he's in the match. Damn.
He's like, I won one match, Sean. Put me in it. We go to our next match, which is a strap match. Eddy Thorpe taking on Dijak. This all came about because Dijak whipped Eddy Thorpe's tree.
Yeah, he beat the bark off this dude's tree, and that is not a euphemism. He literally whipped this man's favorite tree so bad that this guy is pissed and challenged him to a strap match. And Thorpe says, you didn't just, whip my tree. You tried to like belittle me, and you say you want me to bring out something inside of me. Well, I'm going to bring that tonight. And he didn't just bring whatever was inside of him. He also brought his family.
He had his family who also liked this tree.
Yeah, this family are pretty pissed at Dijak.
It was his like sister and niece and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were front row. 6-year-old niece.
6-year-old niece.
Leather strap match.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's see what happens.
Vic Joseph showing us all that he's very observant about people's gear, because he's like, wait, Book, look at that white belt Dijak's wearing. Book's like, what, Vic? What about his belt? It's like, that was the same belt he wore the day he whipped the tree. It's like, oh, you got a good memory, Vic.
Is that the belt he whipped the tree with? Probably, right?
He just said it was the one he was wearing.
So that's the one he beat it with. Yeah, he whipped it with. Yeah.
We get a tope suicida right off the bat from Eddy. And then Dijak just drags Thorpe back into the ring using the strap. Goes to whip him, but Thorpe gets out the way and trips him with the strap. Thorpe is then coming at him with these big elbows, and Dijak delivers his big boot, leaps off the second rope, and Eddy kicks him in the gut. And this is where we cut to Thorpe's family, who are cheering him on. Dijak just keeps on swinging the belt at Thorpe, but he keeps getting out of the way. Finally, Thorpe goes for a big running boot in the corner, but Dijak dodges, and this allows him to start whipping him and lighting him up. He sends him to the outside. During the commercial break, we see Dijak hit hard justice, and then as we come back, he has the strap across Eddy's mouth, just pulling back. Eddy starts firing back, and they start trading blows. And then there's a running clothesline into the top rope where they just both fall to the outside, landing on their feet. And then Dijak slams Thorpe's back on the apron, which is, you know what?
The hardest part of the ring.
Most difficult part of the ring. And he's then just showing Thorpe to his 6-year-old niece as he's whipping him.
So he's like beating up Thorpe right in the area where his family are sitting and standing. And his one aunt is just like chilling there. His one, like, what is it, aunt or uncle is just really calm and collected the whole time.
So there's this little 6-year-old girl screaming like, no, leave him alone, stop. The, like, I guess the aunt, the mum, whatever, who obviously knows it's not real, but she's still booing him.
Really getting
and then the guy just there like, this is great.
Yeah. But the little girl, like, they must tip you off, like, hey, honey,
I'm sure like Dijak was like sitting down with her after, and like,
they're like, okay, don't worry, we watch him on TV all the time. Okay, cool. But I'm gonna whip him and beat him in front of this girl. Was screaming, and
like this could like emotionally scar.
Yeah, this was pretty intense. It wasn't.
You're watching your uncle.
Look, like a few weeks ago, the Chad Gable thing, right? Like when Chad Gable's kid was crying, I was laughing my ass off. This one, I was like, yo, wait a second, this poor girl is screaming, and then Vic Joseph's like selling it, like, oh my god, like how awful.
She's a 6-year-old girl,
and I can't believe I've ever, agreed with Booker T so hard. But he's like, yeah, well, you should have left her at home. Amen.
I agree.
No, kids should be allowed to go to wrestling.
Oh, it's
shows.
fun. It adds so much to this.
Yeah, just don't bring them on planes, and we're fine. But yeah, this was a great. They realized that this kids can add so much in a wrestling thing. It's happened in NXT before, obviously. But
Izzy.
Yeah, shout out Izzy, who's wrestling now. If you want to feel
just had
old.
her first match.
Yeah. This was adding to the match for sure.
Yeah.
With the entertainment here.
Well, Dijak then pulls off the white belt. Shocker, he's going to use it. Vic tipping us off. Wraps it around his fist. Goes for a big punch, but Eddy ducks. Delivers a big boot, and then a big running boot in the corner. And now Eddy starts whipping Dijak. And when I say whipping, he is like letting rip. Like machine gun like whips across his back.
He is belting him here. And then eventually one just... right in the face.
Yeah, so Dijak's getting up and he like stands on his hand to trap him there and just like whips him in the head. Ooh. And then uses the belt wrapped around his fist, punches him, and then wraps the strap around his elbow and delivers a top rope elbow drop to pick up the win.
Yeah, actually, Eddy Thorpe's elbow drop is pretty cool. He does like this like
kind of dunking thing.
Pose
running man.
Thing. Yeah, almost. I think he's doing kind of the native, like there's a dance or
Okay.
something. He's almost looks like he's doing it while he
Got you.
elbows the guy. So actually, I got really into this, and like I was kind of bummed it wasn't on No Mercy this weekend, but here they still had the matches, they still had the feud. Thorpe has been like so hit and miss because at first they're like trying to just tell us he's a DJ, and then now his tree's getting whipped and he's pissed. And I think when he's been put in these like fighting matches, because it was like the MMA rules or something.
Yeah, it was the
weird like that.
Yeah,
and
whatever they called it.
I thought that,
Underground.
Yeah, I thought that like brought the most out of him, and I think the same thing here. And this had the addition of the family and the little girl screaming and being so upset, and it added for like a pretty fun match. Probably the best match. Actually, there was some other good wrestling. On the show too,
I really enjoyed this match. Dijak is someone, we've seen it in the Wesley match and we saw it in the Dragunov match, where he really isn't afraid of. He's kind of known for it now in this latest NXT run of having really hard hitting matches where neither guy was letting up or pulling back. Like some of those belt shots looked nasty.
he was bleeding. Dijak was bleeding after.
Yeah, Dijak was bleeding after. The addition of the little girl made it so much better as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and Thorpe has shown me, because for weeks we were saying he just seems bland by matches.
Yeah.
Well,
I liked it, and I hope like Thorpe we can get to like a next evolution that he won. He beat his like this guy in front of his kid, his family. I mean,
I think we're going to a third match, because as Thorpe is celebrating, Dijak hits him with Feast Your Eyes, and you see he's just bleeding from the top of the head, and then he puts him on the top rope, super kicks Thorpe, and then kind of puts him in the Tree of Woe and ties him up with the leather strap, and then starts whipping Thorpe right in front of his niece. He's like hanging there, like he's hung to a tree.
so this guy's so bitter. He loses this match and beats him up again. So this has got to go.
And even throws the belt at the girl.
Oh yeah. Oh man, this poor girl. She's great. We got to bring her in again because she's screaming.
Is this their first or second match?
This is their second
match. So, okay, so we need the third.
We need the third.
What's the step?
Yeah, what's the next step up here? 'Cause, a cage match, like something more violent is what but a strap match is pretty violent. They were beating the hell out of each other. You hit me with a bit of strap match NXT trivia.
Oh yeah.
When was the last NXT strap match? In 2020. And who was it?
It was TakeOver War Games, and it was Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Loomis.
Wow.
Two people who I think are still in the company.
Yeah. We'll go with that. You know what? I like this. I really loved the Danielson Ricky Starks strap match.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say it was necessarily in that category, but that match didn't have screaming little kids.
No, and also we know what the ceiling is in WWE with these hardcore matches. They don't push it with blood and violence and that. Within its limitations, this was pushing it, I thought, and which I liked. But yeah, you're always going to get like these sort of hardcore matches are going to mean more outside WWE, I think.
And Dijak has since tweeted, F them kids.
F them kids.
So I agree. F them kids, bro.
I still think Cody's going to want to do a dog collar match in WWE. He's pushing for it, I'm sure.
He's been pushing, but just maybe Brock wasn't the right guy.
That would have been good, though.
It would have been so much better.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We see Gacy Jane, who knocks on Thea's locker room asking if she's ready in her new gear. She's like, yep, almost. So she's got a match coming up. And then after the break, Vic is talking about the Blair Davenport attack when Blair just storms in, takes the headset off him, and says, Gigi shouldn't try playing. It's going to be even worse. And Vic looks a bit shaken, and Book's like, yo, are you okay? He's like, stop it. I could see you laughing the whole time. We go to our next match. Dani Palmer taking on Thea Hale. The Chase You music hits, and we see Gacy Jane come out. And then she clicks her fingers, and the sort of Titantron burns away, and everything goes black. And then some sort of rock music comes on.
Yeah, then Jody Threat's Impact music hits.
Is that what it is?
Music hits.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, apparently, according to Fire Frank, he messaged our group right away going, hey, this sounds oddly familiar. And he has fact-checked himself, and it is legit that they use the same. I think
royalty-free.
I think Jody Threat has now since moved on because in the Indies she uses like I assume some of the similar songs, but this one I'm not familiar with, but it's just some like rock song
Yeah.
that it has lyrics and stuff, but yeah. Probably royalty free or whatever. But
so Thea's changed. She comes out. She's all in black. Can
What
you
a
believe
heel.
it?
Wow.
She's wearing black now.
Jezebel, Scarlet. What other words did JR teach me?
Jezebel was the main one.
Jezebel. I still do that. It's funny.
He would still say it in AEW.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Except you're like, yo, all right, man.
It's
all right.
Jezebel. There are so many. Didn't Kevin Owens say that he learned English through JR, but then would start saying words like slobber knocker, and people are like, what
Yeah, we're just watching a strap match, right? I'm like, oh, he's beating him like a redheaded stepchild. You know how hard it was for me not to say that about 5 minutes ago? I just did it anyways, but yeah. So Thea Hale comes out and she's wearing pretty much gear that everyone else wears except
but
it's
it's
black.
black.
It's got like a bit of like a choker, a bit more edgy, like you said, Sandy from Grease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's taking on Dani Palmer. So Thea keeps on going and then hits this crazy tilt-a-whirl head scissors, which just spiked Thea on the top of her head.
Oh, yeah.
I think it looked worse than it was because Thea kind of flipped right back to her feet and just kept going. Thea then hits a tilt-a-whirl of her own, and then Palmer comes back with some drop. Hit this like handstand kick into the corner, which didn't look too impactful. But then Palmer goes to the top and goes for this like huge twisting moonsault.
Spiral tap, sky twister, I don't know what
And
it was.
Thea moves out the way, but Palmer lands on her feet and rolls through. But Thea just dives at her and locks in the Kimura, and Dani Palmer taps out.
Yeah, it's nice to see Dani back. I know she was injured. The storyline was Blair Davenport. But yeah, the other like acrobatic, the friend of Sol Ruka, waiting for her to come back too. But Dani shows like some impressive athleticism when it comes to like some of these flips and jumping and things. And I think she's still pretty new and pretty green here. But when she does figure out how to put some things more together, I think she could be a threat. Some of the some crazy.
She had a lot of speed with it as well. Like that tilt-a-whirl looked dangerous, but she hit it as fast as like Melo does his satellite.
I'm comparing to her friend Sol Ruka, but like Sol was getting so good at like doing all the crazy flipping stuff, and then slowly started getting good at everything else. And once you figure everything else in, like it's like seasoning and spice, right? But here it was to highlight Thea, and I liked Thea's like Kimura out of nowhere, where you catch them and that's how you put them in it. Like no one does it like that. Some people do it the choke from behind like that, but
I mean, I think that spot could be fun. Is like, what is she gonna get the Kimura out of? I think Thea's improving. She's been looking good, and haven't really seen much of Dani Palmer yet, and I was pretty impressed. She can do some cool stuff.
So like the only thing is like Thea needs to be a bit more bad. Like if JC's so mean.
She stuck her tongue out at the end.
Oh,
yeah,
what a bad person.
Well, she's like, she doesn't. I don't think she knows she's being a bad girl yet.
Right.
You know, like she thinks she's just being a bit more adult.
Right.
So
Isn't that all?
Thea's gonna keep on luring her in. Yeah. Sorry, JC's gonna keep luring her in.
Like JC should just do all the stuff that Mandy did with Toxic Attraction. Like just do the same things.
Yeah. Or things like, JC's, I don't know, mum finds cigarettes on her, and Thea's got to go, oh, actually, no, Mrs. Jane, they're mine. Like covering for her for stuff.
Well, I don't think they promote cigarettes, but you're definitely going in the right ballpark.
Crack.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't do that. Although it's filmed in Florida. So.
Yeah. Well, after the match, JC and Thea are celebrating, and they're hugging as JC looks up to the perch where Chase and Duke are watching. And she blows them a kiss. I'm taking her away from
She's like
you.
not letting her see them almost. She's like, here, come hug me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I see you. So what's going to happen?
See, Carmelo Hayes backstage on his phone. He's looking very distracted. Trick comes in celebrating his win and will be going into the Fatal 4-Way. Melo doesn't really seem to be listening to him. Trick says, hey, man, look, this is about my first title shot. And Melo says, yeah, sorry, I'm just distracted with this contract signing and stuff, and I've got too much business to handle. I'm sorry. Trick's like, yeah, I get it, man. You do you. Like, you just walk to the ring and you sign the contract. Who's he texting? Why is he so distracted?
He's just so distracted about life.
Yeah, but they're building this kind of wedge between Melo and Trick. Like, Trick has always been there for Melo's big moments, and now Trick is getting these big moments. Melo's not there for him.
Right.
So yeah, I think they're building it pretty nicely.
Yeah, you could lead it. It's interesting because you could lead it into Trick just wins the title, and they both are champions on their own. Still.
Well, I think Trick wins the title and Melo loses.
Right.
And then you're playing this game where Trick's got Melo's, A championship.
Right.
And he's a guy with gold, and now Trick's got nothing. Sorry, Melo's got nothing.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We see Baron Corbin leaving, and he's asked about Bron Breakker, and he says, enough of these stupid questions. This Saturday at No Mercy, he's going to get his ass whooped. And Bron jumps him, and there's another huge pull apart backstage.
These guys are still fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might even fight more.
We go to the Fatal 4-Way to determine Dominic Mysterio's opponent for the North American Championship at No Mercy. Tyler Bate taking on Axiom, Trick Williams, and Dragon Lee. The match starts with Bate and Axiom both super kicking Williams out of the ring. They're pissed that he got added to this. Pretty fun way to start.
I did like that, yeah.
Bate hits this huge link. Axiom and Lee are now going at it, which I got to see this match properly. Like, really quick stuff between the two. Both flipping out of each other's moves. There's a combo from Axiom, and then Axiom hits a flying knee to Trick on the floor. And then this Dragon Lee hits a huge tope con hilo to the outside, taking out everyone. And now Trick and Dragon Lee are in the ring, and Trick gets Dragon in a Boston huge Liger bomb, which was a great near fall on Raw from Dragon Lee, and looked great here too. And then Trick hits a double Uranagi, and Booker's going, double bookend. And Vic says, yes, a lot of people call it a double rock bottom, and others a double Uranagi. And Booker's like, you fucking son.
I mean, look, I love you, but no one goes, oh, they just hit the bookend.
The bookend is more, it was more like the bookend how Trick did it. It's the up and then on your knees.
Yeah.
The rock bottom, you're falling into
you're like, yeah.
The Uranagi, you're more like spiking them, I think. But
yeah. I just remember Daniel Garcia, who is great on social media and helps get us hotels sometimes.
Yeah.
But Daniel Garcia recently started doing the rock bottom in the last year, and someone tweeted him like, hey, Daniel Garcia, do you have a name for the rock bottom yet? And he goes, the rock bottom.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, to me, it's a rock bottom the way you do it. Like, Becky's is kind of like the rock bottom, but
Becky's more like the bookend.
I think of like Jay White's is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Joe's got a good one. Best Uranagi ever.
Yeah.
Uranagi.
Yeah. He should call it the trick end.
Trick end. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Well, Bate then hits this DDT on Trick, which just crushes him on his head. A lot of ugly kind of spiking head spots tonight. Hope everyone's okay. Bate then does the airplane spin on Dragon Lee, whilst also hitting the big swing on Axiom.
Very impressive.
Impressive. Doesn't get a whole lot of speed. I don't think it really... They're like, okay, you're picking me up, mate.
Yeah, like you're spinning him a little bit, but it's still
impressive to do it. And then Trick tries to throw Bate out of the ring, but he comes back with the rebound lariat. And then as he's going for the pin, Axiom breaks up by stomping on Bate's back, which propels him into this crazy fast Canadian destroyer on Dragon Lee.
Yeah, I mean, fresh out the books of the Lucha Bros. This is right. This is the step up off one guy's back into it, but looked clean as hell. Like WWE just slide. Some people are allowed to do the Canadian destroyers for some reason, and this looked crazy. Everyone was going back and forth here by this part of the match.
This looked nuts. There's then bop and bang to Axiom, a pop-up uppercut from Trick to Bate, super kicks all around from Axiom. Dragon Lee comes in with some crazy super kicks of his own, and then Axiom super kicks Bate off the top rope, and Axiom hits a Spanish fly to Dragon Lee. Lee kicks out on 2 and powers up and hits Destino on Axiom, which Trick breaks up, and then Dragon Lee headbutts Trick, who falls backwards and inadvertently headbutts Bate, who falls out the ring, and a kind of knocked out Trick Williams falls on top of the Axiom to get the win. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, very like he didn't know he got the pin because he got knocked into it and fell onto it. It's funny, the match began with Trick getting double super kicked, and it reminded me of when Cena had to face Bell Rang. Shawn super kicks Triple H, and Cena's like kind of shocked. And then is it the same match or a different match when Cena gets Sweet Chin Music and falls on someone?
Isn't it? Was it best backlash ever? Or it's Randy, Edge, Shawn, and Cena.
Yeah,
is it?
and it's
It's a
pretty
really
good.
good four-way,
Yeah,
and
and
it kind of ends like that.
It kind of similar to this, where Trick just kind of falls onto him, and that's how.
So
he
we know
gets
it's a Shawn call here.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best of Shawn Michaels, right? So I definitely could see that, and it worked really well for this finish. Like, Axiom and Dragon Lee and Bait were going nonstop here. I got to give it to Trick too, but those three specifically were like going crazy with the destroyers and Spanish flies and things off the top rope and con helos, and then it's Trick who just gets the win there. So it is kind of goes with the story of the whole episode and does make things interesting for Saturday, and not just involving now Trick versus Dom, but the whole Carmelo, he's a champion as well, and kind of like you said. So I like this pick and this story.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think they did a great like show long story with Trick Williams, but also the just seeing Axiom and Dragon Lee go at it was nuts. And I think I was also thinking, I could totally see Dragon Lee winning this as well and rematching that on Saturday.
I was shocked that wasn't the case. I was shocked since Ali was gone that Dragon Lee just didn't win it on Raw, and then you book either Axiom or Bait or someone.
But I think this is interesting, and I think it's going to play more into the kind of potential feud between Mello and Trick.
Yeah.
We go back to the Tony D'Angelo family dinner at the restaurant. Price and Nima now show up. It didn't look like they showered after their match. And they pull up a chair at the table. And as they're doing it, they say, we'll get a booster seat for scripts. And Price says, hey, don't insult scripts like that. And they say, we're not here to break bread with you. We're just going to be here to say that we should be next. And then Brutus is just saying, like, yo, can I just eat my pasta? Like, let's go. And he starts eating, and he says, Mum never cooked like this. And Julius goes, it's a different set.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we'll just put a bunch of different teams. And that's fine, but just, I don't know. As much as I love some of these acts, I don't necessarily think this is, like, the best way to get them better, especially if you're like, hey, the Creeds are incredible freak athletes, let's practice their acting. They can practice their acting by doing acting classes instead of like doing crappy Italian thing. Again, I kind of like everyone involved in this, and I think the match will be really good, but there's a strange way that it wasn't even that funny. It was just kind of another college student like film thing. And the way and the way they keep putting the tag titles together is like, hey, come to my bar, hey, come to my thing, you get a shot.
And the jokes are wearing thin as well. The
Mafia.
Yeah, it's been 2 years of this now.
Yeah, what's the next step? Where's the...
Well, the thing is, it's like, if this is a character you're going to want to put on Raw or SmackDown, he's going to be doing all this again up there anyway.
Yeah, he's got to be doing more Italian, Tony Soprano, mobster stuff on the main roster.
Yeah.
Put him through therapy.
Yeah.
Like Tony Soprano.
Oh, true.
Right?
Yeah.
There's always that. Analyze this.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We booked it.
We see Dominic Mysterio being interviewed, and he's like, big deal. Shawn Michaels throws me a curveball. Well, I can't say I'm impressed, but I am going to whoop that Trick. And Dragon Lee, thanks for the bruise, but it's not you that runs. Yeah, he had a nice shiner on his face.
Yeah, black eye.
He says, it's not you that runs NXT. I run NXT. And then Dragon Lee attacks him backstage.
And they go, hey, Dom versus Trick is happening. And you know what? Sean's made the special guest referee Dragon Lee. And it's like the guy who just attacked him?
So yeah, Mysterio is a bad.
Yeah, could this lead to Brian Pillman Jr.?
Was it the Bengals, the team that was on?
Yes.
I didn't catch what the first thing was he was watching.
It's like a news TV, so,
Okay.
you know, the whole canon thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see us getting the front row thing on this Saturday. They haven't done it for a long
With him?
time. But maybe him, maybe Jade. Even if Jade is going right to the main roster, you could just have her there.
Yeah.
You know, just showing off their new signing.
It's not a bad idea, yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, look, Pillman, he had some good stuff and some bad stuff, but I definitely think that if it didn't work out that way, that maybe WWE can mold him into something.
At all, as Mello is sitting down at the desk. Mello says that everything that happened last week, there's nothing to talk about, like kind of them, like he says, that was just it last week. There's nothing to talk about, so let's just sign it and see each other at No Mercy. And Ilja says, yes, you always seem to be the wrong man at the wrong time, and you're the wrong champion. Mello says, you're talking to me about wrong person, wrong time? It sounds like you at Great American Bash. As obviously the finish was him going for Mello and hitting the title, which Trick was holding. And Mello says, I know I will beat you, and I will beat you. Ilja says Mello struggles. He's been struggling with his confidence and losing confidence in himself. And Mello says, you're right, I did lose confidence for a second, but you keep on acting like you've beaten me already. And you didn't. I did. And Ilja starts to talk about destiny and how he's destined to win this. And he says, what do you do when you throw everything you have at me and I still won't stay down? What do you do when you shoot your best shot and you miss? And Mello comes back saying, NXT champion isn't about how much pain you can endure. It's about being undeniable. It's about being him. And he says, and there's no one on this roster. Bron, Ilja, not Trick. Whoops. And Ilja just starts laughing. Mello just says, after No Mercy, we'll be done with all these what ifs. Ilja signs the contract and says, you will do nothing because you can do nothing. You want to try to push me to my limits and I'll be there. And when I'm crowned the new NXT champion, you will realize that your dynasty has fallen. Long live the Tsar. And then Mello signs it and says, this NXT championship is bigger than you and I. And do I think that you're someone that could carry this championship with pride? Absolutely. But do you think you can do it better than me? Absolutely not. And that's the match.
Yeah, I was a little let down by this one. I think this one was kind of rough because I think you were just doing the same story from when the last time they fought. And obviously the wrinkle of Trick is in here, but I think you needed something here to make it go like a smack or something. I love these two, and I definitely thought this was a little rough around the edges. Even the crowd just dipped on them. So I was like, why is it so quiet? And I'm found myself getting a little bored of repetitiveness. Whereas they could have maybe just got to the chase with Mello running the
I
names
thought it
down.
went on a little. Yeah, it went on a little bit. I thought they both had good lines. I didn't necessarily think you needed physicality. I think you do have the story from the first match. The first match was Ilja pretty much had Mello beat, and
It was Trick.
so it was, even though Mello has the W on paper, Ilja's like, I beat you. You know I had you beat. And I think that's what's playing with Mello's confidence going into the second one. And I thought they had some good lines, but I think there was maybe a bit too much fluff in between as well. But I'm looking forward to the match. I think it's going to be really good.
Can't wait.
So then we get news that just because it's the parking lot.
NXT parking lot.
But yeah, this was pretty vicious. They're fighting in the car park. Bron goes for like a spear to Corbin, and Corbin moves, so he just goes flying through the door of this car.
Yeah, this looked great.
And then Bron slams Corbin on the hood of the car. They're fighting on top. Corbin low blows Bron and then choke slams him on the roof of the car. And then Bron just sits up like the Undertaker, leaps off the car onto Corbin's back, choking him. They're kind of like flying against the fencing and the gratings and all that. And then they're fighting back through the PC and go crashing through the walls of Shawn Michaels' office, who's there like not watching the show, just liking tweets.
Yeah. Damn, Shawn's got some weak walls in his office here. I mean, these are two big lads. So if they went through this drywall, that would make a lot more. This makes sense, I guess. But yeah, cool little fight here between the two, just because they're having a big singles match on Saturday.
They've kind of set the bar for themselves pretty high, because I thought the physicality in this brawl was pretty good. What you don't want to see is Sunday comes along and it's headlock.
Yeah,
like they need to take this intensity into their match.
Make it. I guess you can't make it Extreme Rules because that's the main event.
Well, I think you said it earlier. I think you're probably gonna have just another crazy brawl like this.
Yeah,
a no contest and Von powerbombs both through the day.
Good. That's what the people.
And I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's what the people want to see. Yeah, this was cool, but definitely the laugh was Shawn Michaels' office, and he's just like, "Oh man, what am I gonna do now?" And poor Shawn. So,
the Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah, look at his office. That's his office. Think about it. This guy's main events at WrestleMania, job to Hogan, like I said, at SummerSlam 05, and here he is.
I feel this could become a running bit.
Where his office just keeps getting
it's
busted.
Like the Cleveland, in the bath in Family Guy, whenever his house gets destroyed.
Right.
It's going to be that, but Sean's always in his office.
His office is kind of shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like a skeleton of a
this could be, he could be like, yo, Triple H, like, when am I seeing any of this TKO deal come through? I need better walls.
Yeah, like, you said I was just filling in while you were away, man. And now you're in charge of everything else, and I'm just running Degrassi High of NXT.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah. But you know who isn't? Whoever made those fucking walls for his office.
Someone in the chat's just saying Kalani versus Blair was added to No Mercy. Perhaps pre-show, but
okay.
Well, I'll bring up the card now because I think we'll predict it. But again, like good episode of NXT. I think they've set up No Mercy pretty nicely, and I thought that 4-way was really good today. Yeah. And the strap match.
Yeah. It did a good job of setting some stuff up. We already knew some of the big matches for No Mercy this week, and we're kind of on set for that already. But they did a good job of some other stuff on here, including some wrestling. Really got into the strap match and really liked the story of Trick and him winning the 4-way, which now gives them a match at No Mercy. So it does make things a bit more interesting. We also talked about on Sunday during Poisonrana, we were talking about Melo possibly going up, losing the title and stuff. So I mean, like that makes the whole story with Trick and everything even a bit more interesting because Melo could be gone and Trick could still be down here as North American.
I think Trick should stay for a bit. Yeah. Like I think Melo can. I kind of said it looks like maybe he'll be with Lashley's new group with the Street Profits. And then when he breaks out on his own, you can always put Trick back with him. But I think it would be good for both to kind of be separate and Trick to find himself a bit more because he's someone who's clearly improving every week we see him. Yeah,
absolutely. But enjoyable episode of NXT, and I am excited for No Mercy this Saturday.
So we've got the card right here. We've got the British Rounds Rules match for the NXT Heritage Cup. Noam Dar taking on Butch.
I think Noam Dar somehow, some way sneaks in the victory to beat Butch and retain the Heritage Cup.
Yeah. I mean, it has kind of flip-flopped around a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess we can see who the challengers will be after that. But I just wonder if they might want to do a short-term thing with Butch and, have him defend this on SmackDown here and there.
Like what they've done with
Becky? Kind of like what
Becky?
they've done with Becky and that sort of thing. And with Dom, like it could be something they do. And I mean, he's not doing, I think, what do they call Brawling Brute? So pretty fun act, but it could make him a bit more featured if he can show off his singles work.
Yeah.
See how Chad Gable's got over recently from people going, oh, this guy's actually a really good wrestler.
Sure.
He's not just a yappy dog.
And that's Noam Dar, right? Like Noam coming back ever since has been pretty funny.
Been good,
He's been funny and delivering in the wrestling, and then the injury or whatever is the story injury. I don't even know, but now I'm like, all right, let's see what you can do once you're all gears. And I like the metaphor. So
do you think he'll have Sheamus and Thing with him because they have cornermen, don't they?
Well,
Ridge Holland,
Ridge, the Fridge, and Sheamus. I don't know. Will they'll stop
because you have your nominated cornerman for these rounds matches.
Oh right. I
can see Ridge showing up.
Ridge. Ridge.
We've got what else? We got the family: Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo taking on OTM, Lucien Price and Bronco Nima, the Creeds, and Los Lotharios, Humberto and Angel, for the tag titles.
I think we should go with the Creeds.
Yeah,
I think
you
Creeds,
think a title change?
Yeah, I mean the Creeds. Every week I'm like, oh, their wrestling is fantastic, but it's their like promos and silly stuff like them in the restaurant today that I'm like, I don't know if they're necessarily ready for that kind of stuff on the main roster yet. So maybe keep them down here and have them be champions, and then, you know, do the wrestling where they keep defending it, and then finally give the straps to someone else. However, I do think Los Lotharios, since like that one match or so when they came back to NXT recently, was very impressive. So if they were to wrestle like that week by week on this show, I would very much like that. So I'm kind of torn between the two. I don't know if it's OTM, so therefore that makes them the wild card odd man out. But I feel like they haven't even been here for they haven't even been out the mud yet.
I've seen 2 matches.
They haven't even gotten dirty yet in the mud. So like,
I don't. The family haven't really done much with these titles. Like, their characters haven't. Nothing's changed. You could still have these vignettes with or without the titles a lot of the time. You know, I kind of want to see a bit of prestige come back to these titles, because we've been having good NXT Championship matches, good North American, great women's matches. This has fallen down. When you think back, when you had those, you know, American Alpha revival, DIY revival, all the Undisputed Era, Butch and Lorcan and all them, like the tag titles used to be real like featured moments of NXT, and they've really dropped down the pecking order for me. Yeah. And I think Creed's holding it, going in a feud with people like Carrillo and Garza, who could be like, but more seriously focused, is kind of what I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. More of the wrestling and being treated a bit more seriously would be all right. But yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it's OTM, but I want it to be the Creeds. But OTM is they're too early.
Too early.
Yeah.
Dirty Dom versus Trick Williams for the North American Championship.
I gotta go big Trick Willie style, baby.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's got to.
He's got to whoop that Trick.
He's got to be the new A champion.
Yeah, the new North American champ comes Saturday, Trick Williams.
Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin.
Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. I'm going to go with Braun, but it doesn't matter.
I'm going with a no contest.
Yeah, the real winner's
Von Wagner will win.
Yeah, because we get to see Von put him through tables.
We got Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton in an Extreme Rules match.
This one's interesting because it's like, Becky, you could stay down here for a while and keep these numbers up on NXT, or Tiff, you know, gets her win back over you and like demolishes her and kills her and says like, I was ready for this. And that could be something a bit interesting too. But the NXT women's division was exactly what you just described about the tag division. Like, it hasn't been doing too much before Tiffany. It was kind of flopping around. It was kind of pretty soft, and then Tiffany picked it back up from the depths, and now Becky, it's kind of making it a bit more interesting. So I'm not necessarily against Becky retaining.
How far away is the Saudi show?
I don't know.
Or
a month or so.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you maybe could do some sort of Becky Lynch defense on one of these big shows they've got coming up
right
before Survivor Series. I feel like it's. So maybe keep it on Becky. I agree. I think there's some more matches I want to see with her down here. But it depends what plans they've got main roster. If she's killing time until Survivor Series, yeah, maybe just keep it on her for now.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the match, though. I really like their first one.
Yeah,
so I kind of think this should main event.
Yeah.
And then Carmelo Hayes versus Ilja Dragunov for the NXT Championship.
The rematch. Yeah, this could go a few ways. Obviously, we're talking about the whole Trick Mello gang story. And if Hayes were to now not beat Dragunov because Trick isn't in his corner, that's telling. And then Trick is, you know, a champion. That's an easy, like, heel turn or something along those lines that happens in the split between them, at least for now. Hayes could lose the title and go up to main roster. They've already planted the seeds for the Street Profits, the Hurt Profits, the street business, and Trick could join him, like you said, like all this time later. But Dragunov, if he were to win, like, he has a whole list of other guys he could fight too. But Dragunov's someone I want to see on the main roster as well. So really, I want both of these guys to graduate here from NXT.
I think Dragunov can have a run with this as
he should
as NXT champion.
I love me Mello, but I think I like Mello when he's mean Mello.
Yeah,
and his babyface run didn't do it.
I wonder if you could do like a Mello loses the title, you play off a little bit of a jealousy thing between him and Trick. You do a short program, but have them make good after. Like, it never gets like too heated.
Right.
And that could be Melo's send off. You know, they have their match, they shake hands, Melo goes up, he can join Team Lashley at Survivor Series.
Right. Yeah, I want Dragunov to win just because, again, I love both these guys, but Dragunov...
I'm just thinking like Axiom versus Dragunov.
There's a few big matches.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee against Dragunov. Like, there's some good stuff.
I'm also not forgetting the story of Wesley, where, like, he's got to be somewhat involved. He quit, but, like, there's probably some more story to that as well. So maybe we'll see something, whether he shows up on Saturday or next week or something. But... yeah, so there's our little preview for No Mercy, which looking pretty good. There's a few matches on there that definitely have my attention. And hey, if you want some more attention on Saturday of your own, you can tune in to John Cena and I with our No Mercy post show Saturday here on the Post Wrestling feed. We'll be going live right after No Mercy, and Cena and I will run down the whole show. We'll chat about some NXT, and we'll see where the titles lie, and if there was in fact mercy, have mercy.
All right,
this Saturday. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, well, that's what we thought. We do have a feedback thread on the Poison Rana Facebook group, which you can go to, leave feedback, and vote for Halloween Havoc 1998 while you're at it. And we start with the champ Fire Frank, who says, Braun versus Baron parking lot brawl, 5 stars. Can't wait to see them clash and hopefully see Von table one or both of them after. But Uncle Sean cannot be happy about his office. Dijak making kids cry and thus making both Gunther and Braden proud. Trick had a star-making night. Tony D drinking a little too much wine and asking for a 4-way seemed not smart. Can't wait for No Mercy. Let's go. We've all been there, Frank.
Drinking a little bit too much wine. You know, we should just have a 4-way. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Thank you, Frank. We go to Cameron from Bristol, who writes in, an overbooked show, but some great action. The Fatal 4-Way and Butch versus Coffey were the highlights. Trick had a fantastic episode, and although I didn't expect it was him, he does deserve the spotlight after continued improvement. Crazy to think how awkward he was when he first appeared on 2.0. High expectation for No Mercy. NXT don't miss at the moment. And with Ilja versus Mello and Becky versus Tiff, this will be no different. Thank you for your content, lads. Take care. Oh, that's very kind. Thank you, Cameron. And you know what? Trick, yeah, look at when he first came in. We were not big fans of him at all.
We go to Magan, who says, a solid go home with Trick doing double duty. The 4-way was hectic with a very creative finish. Just as I was about to give up on Dragon Lee becoming champion, he did score a big role for No Mercy, becoming the special guest referee for the North American title match. It's looking like a dope card the same weekend as Wrestle Dream. Mello and Dragunov has a good goddamn shot of stealing it. The Brian Pillman Jr. vignette was well done, and Sean needs to get a better office.
So wait, Megan's reminding me that Dragon Lee is the ref.
Yeah.
So Dragon Lee's gonna help Trick win, and we're gonna get this whole like, wow, Trick did it, and then Dragon Lee on next Tuesday is gonna be like, hey, so I helped you win, give me a shot, and then just
crushes him. Yeah.
And then finally we go to Manny from Pacoma, who says Sean really loved his multi-team tag title matches. OTM is growing on me. The 4-way was fantastic tonight, though I wish it could have been Dragon Lee. It seems like we were subtly starting Trick versus Mello soon, either for the title or just a singles match. I wonder if at No Mercy we see the resurrection. On the 3rd week he will rise. Bonnie Boy Corbin. At No Mercy there's going to be a reservation for 2 because your asses are getting tabled. With October coming, I wonder if the Garza Dynasty will do anything special for the 1-year anniversary of their grandfather's passing, since it falls on a Tuesday. Maybe a mini La Rebellion reunion with Santos Escobar in a trios against Ray, Dragon Lee, and Axiom. Yes, boy. Manny doing a little predicting there. That sounds like it could be a pretty good idea. So maybe that's when those guys win the tag titles.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, I want to see. They still haven't done much since they
got
back.
really shitty fake tattoos.
They got really shitty fake tattoos.
Like,
they went to what's his name? Idris Enofe for that, right?
Right? Yeah, they said, "Hey, where'd you get that chest tattoo?" Right? Yeah, the one that comes off.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys, for writing in, and
Thanks.
everyone out there for listening to us here. We appreciate you. Like I said, Saturday, No Mercy. Sunday, you'll be live on the afternoon before Wrestle Dream. Tune in for a special Poisonrana. We will give thoughts probably on Wrestle Dream the week following, but we will be back next Tuesday night for NXT, the Hangover edition of No Mercy. So many podcasts. Poisonrana.ca for links to everything we do, including our Patreon. Yes, our No Mercy 99 review, our Escape from New York, and hey, even World Champs family members, where we're going to record a second Behind the BDE. And tomorrow I'm going to release our last Behind the BDE, which was our Europe road trip diary.
Yeah.
I'm going to release that for all patrons there too. So it's only $5 to support us, and you get a whole month's access to the podcast. But go check out all the other fun stuff that we do.
And we do have one super chat. Thank you very much, Jake. And thank you for all of you sticking with us in the
made
YouTube
it
chat
through
today.
the feed?
Yeah, like that was a rocky road today, but
Yeah.
we'll try and get that fixed. He sends us $5. Thank you, Jake, saying DDT having a hell of a month with the Bullet Train match and now Jericho coming over.
Yeah, that Jericho Takeshita match sounds pretty good. They're doing a show over there in November. I know Cardona's on that same card. And the Bullet Train match was just beautiful with Suzuki and pile drivers on a bullet train.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they should bring that over to North America. Wrestling on the, maybe not.
You see it anyway.
I see fights every day.
We arrive in Buffalo. Was it Buffalo?
Yeah.
And there's fights on a car. Free. We didn't even have to pay a ticket for that.
Yeah, we pulled up and these two guys started fighting like right in front and on Jesse's car. And then one guy knocked the other guy out. And then we're like, well, we're here. So.
Yep, that's our hotel.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you guys. POSTwrestling.com for everything else. Poisonrana.ca for everything we do. We appreciate you guys. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And we will see you at No Mercy.
Ahoy!
Yeah.
Poisonrana.